Hey there, it's Chris. Welcome back to the next part of the Kai Shulin project, where if you remember last time, we kind of went and started doing a little magic on the side here, and we actually have the basis of the structure that's going to become the ammo belt and box. And it kind of occurred to me that last time when I was doing this, I believe we were using one of these images. It wasn't you. I think we were using this one on the side, and I was basing kind of the hoops we're going to be going off of, or the buckles we're going to be going off of, based off the image, where that's on her left leg, this is on the right leg, but just as an idea on that, as you can see over here, there will be asymmetry involved on both sides, at least as far as the structure on the pant part goes. Yes, it's a box that goes here and the ammo loop that goes on this side. But as for the actual structure here, this part is symmetrical, as is what's the crazy stuff going on both legs. So what the plan is, just so we have a game plan of going forward from this, is let's put you back up here, is the master plan going forward is I would like to kind of finish off this top kind of section with the rough details, but that also involves doing more things up top here with the belt, which is going to make less room to hold on to do the rest. So for right now, I want to mimic this side over here. So we're going to do the left leg, left boot to that level of detail, get the left leg up. After that, we'll do the rough block up to the belt level, come across, and then from there we can add the patterning and finish things off and get that done and good. That way I can still hold on to certain areas if I need to. I can still hit here if I need to without fully getting that done. And it will make life a little easier. And yeah, that's probably where this next week is going to wind up going towards. And then hopefully at the end of that point, we're finally going to start feeling like I'm getting somewhere. At least I'm going to start feeling like I'm getting somewhere. Because I'm not going to lie, this is kind of the low point of every project for me, where we've done the blocking out. That went by like super fast. It was super great. I was all happy, making very quick progress. And now we start detailing things, and all of a sudden it just, everything just grinds to a halt. Progress just feels like it grinds to a halt. And yeah, I kind of like seeing progress being made, but the problem is there's not enough visual progress happening that it feels like something's going on. So I just kind of want to get through this section as expediently as possible at this point, and then I'm going to feel a lot better about that. It's also been quite a while since I recorded last time. It's almost been the entire week. Because to give you an idea, the previous two shorter videos I did just went live today. So it's now literally a week later. Usually I like having at least one recording session kind of done during the week, and then I kind of finish off with two on the weekends, but it's been a long week at work, and I just 100% didn't feel like dedicating any kind of time to this. Not gonna lie, it's just been a long week. It's one of those where a client's been away, didn't want to be in the house while we're doing our stuff. The boss is on vacation, so I'm kind of there, generally speaking, by myself, kind of demoing and then reinstalling a kitchen, or kitchen cabinets and all that. Just got it done, but it's just been a trying week, and I just needed some time off. Time off for brain stuff. When I got home from work, it was just kind of rest time. Hitting unforeseen changes, having to move electrical here, having to get both the plumber and electrician in there to move a gas line we don't need anymore, which I always love working around gas lines, and move all the electrical stuff, get bunch of unforeseen things done. There was stuff to finish off from last week, so what was supposed to be like a full 5 days worth of time to get this stuff done, which would have been super nice and super easy, turned into about 3 by the time all the extraneous stuff was said and done. And it's just been like a mad dash kind of during the day to get everything I need to get done. It did, but it was just a long week. Which, we get those every now and again. Which is fine. We have Labor Day coming up, actually next weekend, I guess. Or this coming weekend. So that should be nice. And then in 3 weeks from now is actually race time. So that's coming up soon. I am certainly not ready for that at all. Not in the slightest. So we're going to have fun when that comes around. Although I will say the arm has at least healed itself, or the shoulder has healed itself. The tendonitis stuff I was feeling before is hopefully I'm going to be starting the race in good shape on that front. I just need to watch out for... There are a couple specific obstacles now I know to watch out for that can re-trigger it. But in general, that shouldn't be a problem. But I'm also now at that point of I'm just kind of looking forward to being past the big event. The races are always nice in theory when they're like months in advance because it gives you stuff you can do because you feel like the price for basically the price of admission gives me like 4 or 5 months worth of looking forward to the workouts leading up to it, getting all prepped, ready, the excitement. And usually, yeah, these last couple weeks leading into it, it's now like, oh, don't be dumb, don't get injured, take things easier. Don't want to do something stupid when I'm this close. And down to comes just now. The next couple weeks are kind of just sitting on pins and needles until this thing is over. The classic, the classic. This happens every time. So. That said, I should be talking about the model, but I figure I'm going to do another... I think I'm going to save, like... I like the idea of, say, the half-hour sessions, or the 20-minute sessions that I did before, but if I'm doing something like this, I'm just redoing what's over here on the other side, where I'm just kind of doing more busy work kind of thing. But I think the hour-long segments work better for that. At least for me, because I feel like the half hour I'm kind of rushing to get something done. I need to have something finished in a very expedient time frame. So it's... I don't know. I just feel more relaxed during this hour session. So that's what I'm going to be aiming for this time. And then maybe when I get up to like this belt area, if I get up to like the belt area up here and actually make this look like pants and not just a Donald Duck kind of look here going. But yeah, once there, it could be like a half-hour thing. The patterning is probably gonna be like another shorter one. So if I have like any kind of very specific element I want to highlight, showcase, or whatnot, those I'll probably save for the shorter kind of sessions. But otherwise, we're gonna make sure we get this thing right. But otherwise, I think we're generally going to stay with these. Woohoo, let's not keep hitting those. I think we're generally going to be staying with these kind of longer, or quote-unquote longer sessions. But we'll see. I was saying the goal isn't necessarily to get more people to come in. I appreciate you showing up here, and it would be nice having more people coming and seeing stuff. I think what I'm curious on testing on those types of things too, again, not getting more people, but just seeing if the broadcast gets put out any more than it was before than, say, an hour session does. Because I'm curious how, say, the algorithms and stuff work on YouTube or any other platform I would want to go to in the future. And yeah, to me it's like a puzzle. And I like kind of working on those types of puzzles, just kind of seeing under the hood what generates interest, what doesn't generate interest, what comes in. So over the next while, but again, there's probably not going to be too much playing with this before the race, but afterwards we might start playing around with just little kind of tests here or there, see what does what. Do things generate interest? Does it generate more times my thumbnail image or the video is broadcast up there? Or I don't want to be pushing these things in by accident. This is, as we go on, this is going to start getting harder and harder of not putting my hand in certain areas. And as we can see on the bottom of the shoe, this is getting crushed in, and that's always going to be crushed in on here, so I'm not even going to worry about evening that stuff out. Now we will be cleaning up a lot of details like that as we get closer to the hardening phase. We're just not there yet. So that's why I'm a little cavalier on some of this at the moment. I'm not going super hard into, I need this to be perfect right now, because I need it to be at least halfway decent, but it doesn't have to be perfect at this point. Because I know even if I put this down here, it's going to start flattening out the bottom, or if I put it on the ground, that kind of evens out this. So no matter what I do with this, it's going to be causing issues here or there. So at this point, get the rough stuff done, and then we'll worry about the details later. Or we'll smooth out the details, or we'll do stuff with the details later. But first, I need this foot to look right. And part of making that foot look right is knowing that the big toe is on the inside of the foot and not the outside of the foot. Okay, we're starting to get a foot kind of look going, which is what we want. A little arch in there. I believe we need to put a heel on this. Our length is actually okay, so we need a little more on the bottom part there. Don't fall over. And I just so happen to have a little bit. I thought I had more than that on here. Oh yes, this is definitely, the arm's just getting completely destroyed, but again, I really don't care about that part. And we will always be off camera. Rule of life, never know where the camera is. Alright. At least we're starting to get the other foot looking like what it's supposed to look like. And I've been having a fun time with the game, a lot of fun with the game recently. And especially if you are at all interested in where Kai as this model has come from, if you go back and watch this past Friday's the gaming segment, that pretty much gives her entire backstory, even if it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It's an interesting watch just to kind of understand that when I had first mentioned doing this model during the Bang project, and I was kind of revealing, oh, here are my 3 choices I want to go from, and I kind of gave a brief kind of, at least my brief understanding of who the characters were and whatnot on that. I 100% got Kai's backstory wrong on that. Apparently, I remembered nothing from the game. And I had just forgotten how dumb her backstory actually is. Or at least how the whole thing plays itself out. It's worth a watch. Again, it was this past Friday's one. I believe this is going up on Tuesday, so it'll be the one before the one I just did here. But it's It is definitely a thing. It is definitely a thing. It's then followed by a mission, which is almost worse, but it probably is worse. It just the entire segment is just worth it. It's so bad, but it's worth it just to experience what they were thinking. Otherwise, I do kind of have a foot going here, which is good. I would like to have. Actually, it's like kind of smooth out the calf so it looks right underneath. But in some ways I don't, because a lot of it's going to be covered in the end. So I don't need to be too concerned. Alright, so if we have this stuff, am I ready to actually carve anything, or do I want to have just a layer? I might want just a layer underneath everything. What are we set on right now? We're set on 4. We're not going to 4. This is either... I think what I want is just to have a little more depth on the foot here in general. So I'm just kind of adding that to it. I can cut some of this stuff out. Being very careful what you know what, I can hold the leg. Yeah, so I'll probably have my final big ride, or bike ride kind of prep thing going on tomorrow. And then next week will be a little more tame. But I'll probably do another like 45 or so miler this time. So 2 weeks ago I did like I think it was 36 miles or something with a lot of hills. Last week was 45 miles with some hills, not that much, but at least had a little something kind of going for it. And I think tomorrow is going to be a mix between the two, probably about another 50 or so miler, but with a bunch of hills as like the final, just get time on my feet kind of workout. Because again, the race itself, assuming I finish it, which is no guarantee, is probably going to, I believe the competitive bracket average for those who finish is something like 12 and a half hours. So, yeah, there's that. So I just need a couple practices kind of going in this that are just basically time on my feet practices. And like I said, I think I've said it before, but yeah, running's not going to get the job done. So we got to do biking for that is the only game in town. So let's just got to get at least one more good one, I think, in here with that. Then, like I said, next week is going to be an easier one because now I'm 2 weeks out. At 2 weeks out, we are strictly at, I don't want to pull anything. That's time to kind of, it's like the healing time. Give the final 2 weeks with like nothing hard per se, but we're just kind of, I don't want to say it's coast in, but it is kind of the important time. Don't be dumb type stuff. And usually the final week before is a nice easy like 7-mile run or something like that, like the week before, just to kind of cruise into the event. Okay, looks like we have kind of a beefy foot going, but I think if we do this right. Also, I keep hitting this thing like I'm going to break it, and I keep forgetting, no, this thing is actually stapled in. It's not going to go anywhere. It might, at most, I may compress it in here because all this is going to be touched up anyway at the end. So I need to stop worrying about that. Also, let's... Okay, so what do we have? We had... Maybe this feels like it was a lot easier to do when I can hold the other leg. Not gonna lie. We do, once again, we want the big toe on that side. You came around. Woo, 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 woo. No doing that. That came down here. I think the other reason I like these hour-long segments more than the shorter ones too is it gives time to just. This kind of does become a just chatting kind of blogish kind of stream or video where I can just kind of vent, release stuff that's been kind of pent up, talk about what's going on. It just feels like a more kind of comfy, chill atmosphere, at least for me. Let's not go and cut myself. I already did that this week. Did this little doohickey, cut myself in a tile earlier, and that was one of those that was a bleeder that bled all over the floor. It was great. Thankfully, the tile floor wiped off easy. You kind of really quickly throw a band-aid or something. Actually, it was a little band-aid this time. I didn't have to use tape. I had actual first aid stuff on. You put it on real quick, just kind of stop everything. Then finally, lunch came around like an hour or so later, so I was like, all right. At first, it was just throw something on to have compression on there to stop it from doing what it was doing. And then finally at lunch, I took the Band-Aid off and just kind of went to clean it out and take a look at what I actually had done. It's one of those that was literally nothing. It's essentially just like a tiny paper cut, but it's like a tiny paper cut thing that was just in the wrong place, and it looked really bad when I first did it, but it wound up being one of those big nothing burgers. I'm not sure where that thought just came from, but because I just stabbed myself with a knife, that's why. But yeah, stuff happens. It would have been nicer if it wasn't like literally on the knuckle or on the side of the knuckle there, on the side of the joint, which is super cool to cut that little portion. But whatever. You don't stop work for something like that. So. Okay, I can't be holding up here, and I need to hold the leg. Okay, we got that. Also feels like there's more stuff I can randomly talk about today because a literal week has passed since last time, and being as you've already seen literally this entire thing being done previously, assuming you have been watching this kind of series, then yeah, this has all been done before. So kind of old hat, you know what's going on because you've seen it going on. Alright, so we just made ourselves a little ridge to kind of separate the first rubber part here from the top. So now just kind of smooth off what we just did to make it look good. Whoop. I'm hitting my computer on the side. Not good. That's it. Also, if you are watching the gameplay itself as well, I do have to say, although I think like basically the start of the game through chapter 3 has been like a lot of kind of tutorial. Here's how the game mechanics work. Here's the basic stuff. I think chapter 4, the game finally kind of starts for real, the Battle of Sigfold, and it starts getting kind of a lot of fun from that point forward. But the stuff that's about to happen this week that I've recorded but haven't yet uploaded, yeah, the game from here on out is now real. Now the game wants me gone. And yeah, we've definitely turned the corner again in terms of the difficulty wise. So we're getting there. It's plugging along. I'm still doing pretty good. But yeah, no, the game isn't it's not holding my hand anymore. It's now actually it's turning into a challenge. Maybe not the next chapter that goes out, but no, not true. This is being recorded. The next segment goes out on Monday. This one's going out on Tuesday. So yeah, pretty much everything after this one going out. Yeah, game wants to be gone. And that's just what that is. So now we need to actually pay attention to what we're doing. Okay, and we're at the point here where I have enough of this boot done that I could do the little detail things on this, but the question is kind of why, if it's just going to be flattening out. Although this foot rarely sits flat on the wood, I probably could put the detailing on, but we kind of want to do this section first and then come back. I can do this upper part of the boot, and then we go and do the top and the straps and all of that. For some reason my voice is a little crackly again. Not sure what's up with that. What am I at? I think that's like a 5? I forget if that was a 4 or a 5. I think that was a 4. I think it's a 4 and a 2 put together, actually. Right, because I did the triangle part first, and I put the other on top, so we might as well match things. Oh, but first I need vertical datum line to go through. That was thicker. I think that was, I might have had that as the full 7. I haven't rewatched what I've done. So, whoops-a-doodle. Yeah, on one hand, I can see the game's not getting that many, there aren't that many people watching it per se, but I'm still having fun doing that one. I'm still having fun, but again, a strategy game itself, I think, is a difficult one to really do a video of. Because strategy is one of those where you either think faster than the person watching, or you think slower than the person watching, and both kind of have their own little kind of detriments with that. So, just in general, I feel like strategy games are not the easiest ones to go through, but I'm still just having a lot of fun with it. I'm not the most adept at that type. It's been a while since I've played one of those. I'm trying to think, the strategy ones I've done, I'm trying to think what they were. Because I know I've gone through Fire Emblem, I think it's Radiant Dawn. I went through probably 80% or so. I remember watching my brother play that one long time ago, and I've gone through maybe 80% of it or so before I got bored of the game. Because that one is just so long. Like, I don't need like an 80-hour long like strategy game. There's just too much game. I've done Final Fantasy Tactics, and really, of the pure ones in that genre, that's about it, other than the Valkyria Chronicles. So, I only have so much experience playing this type of game. But it's still worth it. It's still good times. This still... Man, I feel like I did not cut you 100% straight. Nope. Yeah, so I know I spend a little longer thinking about the moves that I want to in that type of game. But at the same time, as long as I can communicate what I'm thinking during the process, I think we're doing okay. As long as you understand where we're going or why we're doing what we're doing, I'm feeling not too bad about that. So I went up to a height that's kind of like right there. So we're going to be right about here-ish. And that's all I need on this. Because again, I know we've been looking at this the whole time, but if I were to take that off, we're looking at the leg. I know, well actually this is now the correct leg, but yeah, that's generally what we're looking at. And I want to see here if these are my little loops from before. Yeah, our thing is a little thick, but at the same time, we just kind of got away with it last time too. I can cut it a little thinner. I can cut it just a little bit thinner. Come on, there we go. Yeah, that will work better on the loops on there. I know it's a little thinner than, it's going to be a little thinner than this side, but actually you don't physically see the two at the same time anyway. So we're not going to worry about that. It's going to be fine. It's going to be all good. Once again, we cut off around there. All right. Okie dokie, got that in. Now, if I were smart, I would have, when I made this piece, I would have traced it onto another one. But you know what? Sometimes I'm not that smart. Kind of like to think I am. That's not always the case. So, we are what we are. But at the same time, I do feel like this is going a little quicker than it was last time. And that's kind of the important part. Let's see, I don't need this entire thing up here. So we can cut that off. And where did we started at around this height. So I'm starting around here. And our bottom was down, yeah, pretty much in the foot. So bottom could be something like that. So all I need to do here is lose my mark. There's the mark. Do that just to get that out of the way so that I can hold you kind of up here. Doesn't really matter where it finishes on the bottom because it's going to be in the boot. Okay, so I actually want to be a little bit higher because I'm looking inside, like, oh, the inside here. No, I need the outside edge of that. So I want to be just a hair higher. Okay, like I said, we're doing this a little smarter than last time. As long as I can pinpoint kind of where the point is, where this ends, then I should be, well, actually, I can be even smarter still and just do this whole thing. Okay, we have the entire leg covered. Now I can really just kind of trace or cut out what I need to. Kind of come up there. And this is why second time through things tends to always go by faster than the first time, because we seem to learn. Where are we? We're down here? Yeah, we came down here. And we can come up. And with that, we can just pull this straight off. And done. That kind of did what it had to. I think we need to go up just a little bit, but that's fine. Our bottom here. Starts somewhere around there. Does that. And on the other side, if we're starting around there, that comes down. We can peel you off. See how we did. All right, so what do we like? This back side's not too bad. I think front side needs to come just a little bit higher up. Ooh, sorry. A random sneeze. Typically on any given day, I don't get sick like ever, but basically on like any given day, I have like just 5 sneezes that just need to come out. And that's, doesn't matter if it's spring, fall, summer, winter, doesn't make a difference. So I figure it's the price I pay for not actually getting a real sick. Okay, so if that's in, I'm just gonna slowly kind of push this in so it doesn't go anywhere. How are we doing on time right now? We're doing really good on time compared to how far this has gone. I'm just crimping the edge here. Where did you went way over there? Okay. Just gotta smooth you out a little bit. Let's do the same on this side. Oh, I'm gonna be so happy when this leg portion is done. It'll be so much easier to hold on to stuff. Plus, just having more details visually finished makes it feel better. Because I think part of the reason this is one of the low points for me is, I'll be honest, I'm not really a quote-unquote foot person to begin with, so it tends to be a lot of time kind of dealing with this lower body kind of stuff. And I know once this thing is done, I'm never going to look at it again. And so, for me personally, there's that little bit of play kind of involved. That's like what it'd be in real life too. If I see you in real life and you're wearing like these $600 pair of shoes or whatnot, you really want to show off, I will personally never see them. My eyes do not go towards that at all. So that type of thing would be completely wasted on me. So doing details now in this type of element is just completely lost on me, and I feel a little bad about that, but it is what it is. Okay, now is where we went really skinny to the 2. But I'm going to start at 4 just to get this kind of pre-rolled out. Because if you want to stick a giant wad of this into a ridiculously skinny one, then problems happen. It doesn't like that very much. So now we've started, we can go to the skinny. Ooh, and we are fine. Alright. Not this big. It's got a couple little wrinkles in there. Not too bad. Okay, good. Alright, now this was the exact width of this in the end, I had noticed. So I can just trace this several times over. And really, we can just get those out of the way because we don't need super long things. And let's just make a couple of these, little strips. Alright, I'm not sure how many I need. I forgot if it was 2 or 3 got the job done last time. But I have this whole thing kind of set up nicely right now, so. And just in case we mess something up, I'm just going to make 4. Just in case. Because every now and again, things happen. That one's a little bigger. That one's a little bigger. You go in the reject pile. Yeah, we don't want anything too big. Too big is problems. Yeah, so really, I'm looking at the time, and hopefully by end of next session, we should be pretty well caught up to where I am on this, which would be fantastic. So far this is going by relatively expediently. Okay, so we have the front overlaps the back, so we want to start on the back one first and then do the front one after. Okay, so how far do we go? Probably something like that. Just kind of looking, making sure we are on camera as I keep wheeling this thing around. Now, if the bottom's not 100% perfect, again, that's fine because this bottom part will be in the boot and will not be actually visible. Okay, so I have that. Just kind of finish that off. That gets one side in. Let's get the other side. Very, very carefully. Okay, almost there. Okay, we didn't follow the line. Yeah, we do go that way up to there. Cut that. We realize I can't see what I'm doing when it's that far away from me. Whoa, I was about to grab the arm. Not wise. Alright, so I want to get this little piece out. Maybe by using you. Okay, I'm not too concerned with this kind of looking a little messed up inside, because when I get the pattern put on that, that will iron itself out. Do want to make sure those kind of look a little like what they're supposed to look like. Sorry I'm not talking so much right now. I feel like I used up all my useful stuff to talk about. And being as, again, there's nothing new going into this that you haven't already seen, there's only so much I can do. Alright, we got that. As you can see, I'm avoiding putting the lines on this because I saw on the other side I just kept messing it up. So let's not do that. I can put those all on later. And okay, we at least now have something going on this side, which is helping. Are we up to actual boot time now? Maybe. Maybe it's worth doing. Might be worth doing the boot part here first rather than that, because again, I can still hold on to this with less problems. And it's a good visual thing that says, hey, something's happened. Once again, I haven't rewatched the video, so I don't think I was all the way up to 7 on this. I was probably like a 6. And let's see here. What do we have? I have this tongue is about that big. Boop-a-doop. And I realize you're off camera and you're a lot easier to cut with this. Can we kind of make this right? That'd be great. Okay, I need to remember this goes on the inside, not the outside. Alright, you're a little high up, a little lower. Alright, that's not so bad. And then we had the boot itself. Does not need to be this wide. Although we probably should start getting at least the top of it. Yeah. Hello, this is why I need to clean up my workspace every once in a while. Too much random clay stuff. Really, all I really need is probably about that. Once again, start with a little bit of an inside angle because we're going to put the seam where there's actually a seam. Yeah, that's not too bad. A little bit further forward, a little bit higher. Might just be easier overlapping like that and just doing the seam right there kind of in place because I'm going to be playing with this thing a little bit anyway. Alright, so our boot right now is lower than the other, so we need to raise you. That's they're still lower because I have the tongue of it is lower. I'm basing this all off of the tongue where I stuck that. The tongue is off. So I need the tongue here, whatever this thing is, to be a little bit higher. Okay, that seems like it should be okay. This thing. Okay, so if you're up there, how's this? That look like you're okay? That looks like you're okay. In that case, I'm probably going to be adding a little bit more to the ankle down there in the end, but although the goal is going to be to shrink this whole kind of boot anyway to kind of give a sleeker look, so I might not be adding more anywhere. I might just be subtracting from the top like I did last time. Okay, and one kind of important thing to remember is when you have this kind of condition, you always want to remember just to kind of re-pop out the top just a little bit to make sure it's not sticking to the front. It's not sticking straight to this, so it reads like the boot it's supposed to read like. It doesn't have to go out far to give that effect, but you need to have a little bit of separation just to give some of that effect. Yeah, we're going to be kind of carving some of that. I'll probably do that off camera just to kind of touch it up, which I think is coming. I think we're getting near the end of the session. I should probably actually look at the watch or the clock or whatever it is. Well, I have kind of both going. But I also want to get this one element done anyway, so. But this will be good. This will be a big one. Just getting this going. All right, let's reopen this side here. Oh, let go. Let go. It's not letting go. It's not letting go. I'm just going to round off the edge just a little bit. And I think we're getting pretty dang close to the ends. I think I'm probably going to be calling it right around here. Let's just do one more little floof on this. And this was actually a pretty productive session. This one was pretty good. So I think next one's probably going to be another hour-long one. And then I might have 2 more shorter ones coming after it again. So I'm going to have maybe one for the belt area, kind of the upper part, and maybe one for like the upper part here and the belt, and one for the patterning itself. But overall, this was good progress. We now at least have something going on down here. We're kind of matching that. It's a little crisper now that I know how I did the other one. I was able to make this one a little bit, I think, neater in the end. A little bit of touch up to do, but that's neither here nor there. I can do that off camera before coming back here. And next time we can do this upper portion. I can put these straps on the other side because, again, I don't need to show how to do those. The straps here, these little kind of buckly things, are already made, so I just need to attach them, which is really easy. So next time we should be a little more balanced on both sides, and that'll be good. And she looks like she's conducting something right now, but no, that's where we are. That is where we stand. And yeah, we're looking more like something now than we were before, so that's good. So until then, and until next time, well, as is usual, where are we? Let's put our, where are we? We are, might as well end with you. And until then, enjoy.